At my birthday party, after toasting that I was only successful because of handouts, my best friend grabbed the mic again, laughing. Relax, I only said it because I was tired of seeing her fake happiness when she owes everything to me anyway. Gasps filled the room as she continued digging her grave. I quietly played old voicemails she had sent, admitting she had spread lies about me at work, to my family, and even tried to sabotage my relationship. By the time she realized what was happening, half the guests had already blocked her mid-party. I'm not a dramatic person. I stay out of fights, I let people talk, and I usually let things slide. But this was different. This was years of lies, whispers, and cheap shots, all dressed up in a fake friendship. And I let it build up because I thought I owed her loyalty. I thought maybe I was being too sensitive. That maybe I was the problem. I wasn't. Let me tell you everything from the beginning. My name's Rachel. I live in Asheville, North Carolina, in a decent little place I worked my ass off to afford. I don't come from money. I built my career from the ground up, starting as an unpaid intern and crawling my way into a solid role in digital marketing. It took 10 years. It took skip vacations, late nights, missed birthdays. The party was to celebrate my 34th birthday. I rented out the back room of this wine bar I love downtown.
Greco Vine.
It's got this exposed brick look with big soft chairs, dark wood tables, and low lighting that makes everyone feel just a little more important. I invited maybe 30 people, not too many. People I actually care about. A few coworkers, my fiancé Ethan, his sister, and mom, some of my closest friends. And, of course, Serena. I met Serena in college. We were both at some student government mixer and we just clicked. She was the bold one, always saying what other people wouldn't. She had a way of making everyone feel like she was the smartest person in the room. I used to admire that. We stayed close after college. When I got laid off from my first job, she helped me rewrite my resume. When her ex cheated on her, I showed up with wine and junk food. Over time, though, her jokes started getting sharper. At first I laughed them off. You're lucky you got that job. I had to help you fix your whole portfolio. Or, Ethan seems sweet. I hope he doesn't realize you work too much to be a real partner. It stung. But I let it go, because she was my friend. I figured she was just insecure, or tired, or in a bad place. Turns out she was just rotten. So the night of the party, everything looked great. Everyone was having fun. The wine flowed, the cheese boards were full. Ethan surprised me with a cake shaped like a laptop with a tiny fondant planner on the side. It was funny, but also kind of touching. He gets me. He's one of the few people who really does. People started giving little toasts. Ethan went first. He's shy in public, but he gave this warm, sweet speech about how proud he was of me. Then my coworker Tanya spoke, saying how I always went to bat for her when our boss gave her a hard time. A couple more people followed. Then Serena stood up. She had that smile, the one that meant she was about to be real. To Rachel, she said, raising her glass, who everyone thinks is this badass businesswoman, a few chuckles. I smiled, even though something about her tone made me uneasy. But who honestly just got lucky? I mean, let's be real. She's standing on the shoulders of a lot of other people. A few people shifted uncomfortably. I heard someone cough. She acts like she built this life alone, but she had help. And not just help, handouts. And honestly, I'm just tired of pretending like her whole "I'm so happy and successful" thing isn't fake. I mean, come on. Dead silence.
Iserte her.
My face was hot, but I stayed quiet. She was still smiling, like she'd said something charming. Ethan looked like he was about to say something, but I put a hand on his arm. I walked up to the Bluetooth speaker, pulled out my phone, found the folder I'd been saving for months. I hit play. Serena's voice filled the room. I told your boss you were faking campaign data. Let's see how far that gets you.
Click.
I kind of hinted to Ethan that you were texting other guys, just to see what he'd say.
Click.
I told your sister that you think her son's got developmental issues. I mean, he kind of does. But I know she'll lose it.
Click.
You could hear every word. You could hear her sneering voice. The recordings were crystal clear. I watched faces change all around the room. People's jaws dropped. One of my coworkers covered her mouth. Ethan's mom stared at Serena like she was something that had crawled out of a sewer. Even Serena's own date looked at her like he was seeing her for the first time. I let about 3 minutes play. Then I stopped it. Serena says I owe everything to her. I said, calm as I could. She's right. She gave me the drive to fight. She gave me proof of how fake some people can be. She gave me every reason to work harder and succeed, just to shut her up. Serena's face?
Pure panic.
She tried to speak, but nobody wanted to hear her. My sister stood up, furious. She grabbed her purse, muttered, "You sick bitch," and walked out. Then came the phones. People were pulling them out, blocking her in real time. Serena's date stood up, gave me a quiet nod, and left. 2 of my coworkers walked right past her without a word. The bartender looked at her like she owed him money. She sat down in the corner, alone. I didn't say anything else. I didn't need to. But that night, I decided that wasn't enough. She'd tried to wreck my job, my relationship, my family. She wanted me isolated. She failed. Now it was my turn. The morning after the party, I woke up to texts. Dozens. Some from people who were there. Some from people who weren't, but had already heard. My coworker Gina. WTF, Serena? You okay? That was insane. My sister. Call me. I want to go over what that witch said about my son. Even Ethan's cousin, who I barely know, texted. That was the coldest takedown I've ever seen. You good? I was tired. Not physically, just drained. I hadn't slept much. Ethan held me most of the night. He didn't say anything until morning. Then he looked at me and said, "You've been dealing with that for how long?" "Over a year," I said. He didn't ask why I never told him. He just nodded. By noon, Serena had texted me twice. "Serena, you seriously played voicemails at your own birthday? You made me look insane." "Serena, call me. Let's talk. You overreacted." I didn't reply. Instead, I opened a folder on my computer. See, those voicemails weren't the only thing I had. I'd started recording calls months ago, after she told my manager I'd plagiarized a pitch deck. That almost cost me my job. I got a formal warning and only cleared my name because I had the original drafts timestamped in Google Docs. After that, I stopped giving her the benefit of the doubt. I started watching, listening, collecting. I had proof she'd lied to my manager. Emails she tried to delete. I had screen recordings of her sending messages to Ethan from a burner account pretending to be a friend, warning him I was cheating. I traced the IP. It was hers. I had screenshots of her sending rumors to people in my family, even contacting an old friend I hadn't seen in years just to tell her I was fake. And I was done being quiet about it. I didn't go to HR right away. Instead, I started with someone better. Mike, our regional director. I'd helped him with a few side campaigns, and he respected me. I asked for a meeting. Told him I had something serious. I brought a flash drive. We sat in his office with the door shut. I don't want to go nuclear, I told him. But I have to protect my job. I played 3 short clips. 2 voicemails, 1 screen recording. His face said it all. "You know," he said slowly, "she's applied for a senior role at the Charlotte office." I nodded. "I can make sure they know," he added. "Please do." That was step 1. Step 2? I emailed a few people who had blocked Serena after the party.
Not all of them.
Just a handful I trusted. I told them she might reach out with her own story. I told them I wasn't interested in spreading hate. I just wanted to be left alone. That I had receipts, but I wasn't planning to go public unless I had to. They understood. Some even thanked me. One said, "Honestly, I always felt weird around her.
I just didn't know why."
Then came step 3, the most delicate one. My sister. Serena had crossed a line with her. I knew it. That voicemail about her son wasn't just cruel, it was dangerous. My nephew has mild sensory issues. Nothing major, just a kid who needs more time with transitions. My sister worked hard to make sure he got the right support in school. When I called her, she didn't even say hello. She just said, "I hope you destroy her." And maybe I would, because Serena didn't stop. She started telling people that the recordings were fake, that I edited them. She even posted a cryptic story on Instagram, black background, white letters. Be careful who you trust. Some people build their whole identity off lies.
She didn't tag me.
She didn't have to. 2 days later, she showed up at my work building. She wasn't allowed inside. She didn't work there. But she waited outside the front doors, holding her phone like she was ready to record something. I saw her through the glass. I walked out anyway. She stepped forward, voice already raised. "You're a damn psycho, Rachel. You made everyone hate me. You destroyed my life." I didn't blink. I just said, "Everything I played was real." "You twisted everything," she snapped. "You made me look like a villain." "You're a villain," I said. "You just got caught. A few people were watching from the windows." I didn't care. "You want war?" she hissed. "You'll get it." I walked past her and didn't look back. That night, she sent Ethan a message. A long one. She said I was emotionally unstable, that I'd been keeping things from him, that I'd manufactured a victim complex. Ethan showed it to me, then blocked her. No words, just action. But that was the final straw. I had been patient. I had been quiet.
But now?
Now I was going to finish it. It would have been easy to let things fade out after that last blow-up outside my building. Let the drama die down. Let her spiral in silence. But that wasn't enough. Serena wanted war. She was still trying to poison the well. Still whispering to anyone who'd listen that I was the manipulator. That I twisted her words, used old voicemails out of context, and smeared her name out of jealousy. What could I possibly be jealous of? She was unemployed, bitter, and constantly circling the drain in relationships. But she had this charm, this slippery, dangerous charm, where she could spin a story that made people pity her. And pity is powerful. I knew if I didn't act, she'd work her way into new circles, new lies. Eventually someone would believe her. So, I went for the pressure point. Serena's sister, Mallory. I never liked Mallory. She was cold, stuck up, and had this look like everyone was beneath her. But she hated drama. And most importantly, she worked in PR for a big tech company based in Raleigh. Mallory had a reputation to protect. A spotless one. And Serena? She used to live with Mallory. Got kicked out 2 years ago after a disagreement about rent. That's all Serena ever said. But I had the real story, a copy of a police report Serena swore no one knew about. She'd stolen Mallory's credit card, tried to pass it off as an accident. Mallory pressed charges briefly, then dropped them under pressure from their parents. Serena had been skating on borrowed forgiveness ever since. So I emailed Mallory. Not threatening. Just matter of fact.
Hey.
I know we've never been close, but I wanted to give you a heads up. Your sister has been harassing me, my family, and my partner for months. I have recordings. I have messages. And I have the police report she told me you sealed. I have no interest in ruining anyone's life, but if she keeps coming after me, I'm going to the police. And I won't stop there. Mallory replied the next day. Subject: I'll handle it. The email was short.
Cold.
But it told me everything I needed to know. 3 days after that, Serena went quiet. No more posts. No more DMs. No one saw her at her usual yoga class or at the wine tastings she always bragged about attending. Then I got the message. From an unknown number. Short and shaky. You win. Just stop. I didn't reply. But that wasn't the twist. The twist came the next week when I logged into LinkedIn for work and saw Serena had applied for a job at the very same marketing firm where my friend Tanya had just gotten promoted to hiring lead. And Serena had used me as a reference. The audacity. I called Tanya that same afternoon. Told her everything. I sent her the recordings. She was shocked. Said she'd never liked Serena. Something about her energy always felt off. That application never even made it past the screening phase. Then Tanya told me something else.
Funny thing, she said.
Serena mentioned you in the interview, said you two had a rough falling out, but she was hoping to mend bridges by working close to people you respect. That wasn't just audacity. That was obsession. That's when I realized this wasn't over. Not really. She wasn't just trying to destroy me socially. She was trying to replace me. Once I knew she was trying to slip into my work circles, I couldn't ignore it anymore. She wasn't just mad. She wasn't just trying to embarrass me. She was trying to erase me, one lie at a time. And I was done playing defense.
So I leaned in.
I reached out to everyone Serena had been trying to charm her way into. Old coworkers. People we both knew from college. Even some of her mutuals on social media. I didn't beg. I didn't ask for pity. I just told the truth. I sent the voicemails. The screenshots. I gave people the option to believe whatever they wanted, but I made sure they had the whole picture. One guy messaged me back. He was a recruiter Serena had met at a networking mixer. He said, "Thank you for telling me. She reached out for a job last week. Said she was being smeared by a bitter ex-friend." I was on the fence. Not anymore. That was the beginning of the end. People cut her off. She started getting blocked.
Ignored.
Then, just when I thought she'd crawl away quietly, she went too far. She sent Ethan's ex-girlfriend an email. She told her that Ethan had been cheating on me with her, with Serena. The ex forwarded it to Ethan. No context, just the forwarded message with one line at the top. "Thought you should see what your fiancé's friend is saying." Ethan lost it. Not at me, at her. He printed the email, took it to a lawyer, sent Serena a cease and desist through certified mail. That's when she broke. She posted a 10-slide Instagram story that night, full-on meltdown, crying selfies, accusing me of bullying, saying I'd turned everyone against her because I couldn't handle competition. One slide was a screenshot of me from college, drunk at a party, flipping off the camera. She circled it in red with the words, "This is who she really is." People weren't buying it anymore. I got texts saying, "She's spiraling," and "Don't respond. It's over." But I made one final move. I took everything. The voicemails, the emails, the screenshots. Even a few messages from people she'd burned after me. I wrote a full report, laid it out with dates, and sent it to a nonprofit she used to volunteer with. A group that supported women in tech. I didn't expect much. 2 weeks later, they released a statement saying they had cut ties with a former volunteer due to violations of community values. They didn't name her. They didn't have to. Her last chance at rebuilding her reputation was gone. And here's the part one never told anyone, not even Ethan. I felt awful about it. I don't mean guilty. I don't regret exposing her. I don't regret protecting myself, my job, my family. But I felt sick about how long I let it go. I let her twist things for years because I didn't want to cause waves. I didn't trust my gut when it told me something was off. I wanted to be the bigger person. I was wrong. And when I finally struck back, I did it like a storm. I didn't just expose her. I took away every platform she could stand on. In a way, I became like her.
Cold. Strategic.
Calculated. But the difference? I never lied. In the end, Serena left Asheville. Quietly. I don't know where she went. Someone said she moved back in with her parents, somewhere outside Charlotte. I haven't heard from her since. Sometimes I still check my phone, half expecting to see another message. Another attack. Another attempt. But there's nothing. Just peace. And I've earned it. Every last drop.